You start with that. What's around here? That's the whole problem.
Well, exactly. So actually, that's Islam's main argument for the existence of God. That we have the design. The Quran is full of verses talking about the design of the universe. You know, looking at the sky and the stars and the sun, and reflecting about it, reflecting about our own human selves as well, and our hearts and what we think. All of these outwardly and inwardly point to the existence of God. But in addition, God in Islam is obviously is the creator of the universe, because he's a necessary being. The whole universe is something which is contingent, it's temporary. It came into existence when it wasn't in existence beforehand. And so in order for that to have happened, you need to have like a necessary being to start it, who's always been there. He's the one who created time and space. So prior to the Big Bang, there was no time and space.
I mean, to be honest, I don't want to, well, it's not even a theory as such, but obviously you've heard of black holes.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, they say the universe is expanding and expanding. Right?
Sure.
And I've said to people before that it's not so much, if you like, heaven or whatever your definition may be of it. I said it's not so much heaven is there in the sense, oh, look, let's go over there. There's God over there. Let's go and have a chat.
Yes.
No, I said, it doesn't work like that. I said, but at the same time, I said, in this, well, you know the Christian Bible anyway, but this comment of Christ, that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter a kingdom.
Yes.
I have a concordance at home that fit every topic, word, whatever in the Bible. So I looked up the word needle.
Right.
And that's in the Gospels, that's the only place that the word needle is meant. And I think, where did Christ get this from? And then I'm not saying it's a theory, but what I like to believe, right, is if you imagine the black hole, right, imagine the black hole, right, as being the eye of the needle, right? So effectively, if you like heaven, it doesn't matter how big the universe gets, right, a day comes, I know they say, will you disappear in the black hole? I'm not going to that scientific side, but to me, the black hole is the eye of the needle. You go through the black hole, and the other side is heaven. So it doesn't matter how big the universe gets, because the black hole will always be there.
Interesting.
It's irrelevant.
Interesting.
And I looked up the word needle, and I thought, where did Christ get this word from? Because it's nowhere else in the Bible. And I thought, he didn't say, oh, by the way, it's the black hole. No, of course he did. Yeah. But in my belief, no matter how big the universe gets, you go through, if you like, an opening in the universe, and the other side is heaven. So no matter how big the universe gets, the black hole goes with it.
Interesting.
And people might say to me, that's a load of old truth. It doesn't matter to me. If I believe that's how it is, that's how it is. You know, why not?
What have you found out about Islam so far? What do you understand about Islam?
I think, to be fair, and I think regretfully, this is where it goes wrong for Islam. I think, unfortunately, in the political sense, right, it's getting the wrong messages through. In other words, if you mention Islam to most people, they'll only think of violence.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Message, you know, your message of what it really, really is behind the headline of violence. And
yeah, absolutely.
Said, oh, well, like the Islamic State, and I think, oh, Islam is just violence.
Yeah, no, that's
I mean, that's not me saying that it is. And regretfully, that's the message that comes over in the media.
For sure, no, I understand that. So, but obviously, I think that appeals, or that narrative, only works so far with people who are not really taking the time to investigate, to read, to study. But yourself, you seem to have been doing some reading and studying. So, what have you arrived at?
I think I think at the moment, Muhammad is your prophet, is he? Is it Muhammad?
He's the final prophet, but all of them are prophets.
Okay. Well, I think to be fair, that I think the problem being is that whereas with Jesus there's this history of Christianity going all the way through. Right? Yeah. Now, if I say Muhammad, that was around about what, 700, 800 AD? Was it 600 AD when
he was born in 570 AD.
Okay. But I think rather unfortunately, the message from there on, right, hasn't actually got through. I mean, to me, Muhammad, in his message, he didn't say, "Oh, by the way, chaps, take up your stores and kill everyone." No, of course he didn't. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Even Christ said, "Take up your sword because we have a battle."
Yeah.
But I think regretfully, whenever there's a problem, like especially in the Middle East and so forth, whenever there's a problem, right, and the word Islam is mentioned, that's it. You're labelled to start with.
Sure.
No one, apart from coming back to the Crusades,
Yeah.
right? No one, if there's a problem, no one say, "Oh, it's the Christians' fault."
Yeah.
They wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't say it anywhere. They wouldn't say, "Oh, Christians start this war." No, they wouldn't. They say, very often, they say, "But for Islam, we'd be okay." And so your message, to be fair, like your head cut, your message is that's right, because at the moment, I can guarantee to you, everyone says it's fireworks.
No, for sure. I understand that. No, for sure.
That's sad.
No, we have that comment for sure, and it's understandable why people have that
But that's the
perception.
tragedy, isn't it?
And that's why we're here to help to redress some misunderstandings.
I'll have a look through this, but have you got anything?
Yeah, I have.
It's true.
Yeah. Can I give you a quick explanation of Islam? Do you have a couple of minutes? I can just give you a high-level summary.
Yeah, if you wish. Yes.
So there's a lot of overlap with Christianity in that we believe Islam is the religion based upon the belief there is one God who created all of us and the entire universe,
Right.
and created everything with a supreme purpose, that we come to know and humbly worship God,
Right.
and that we follow his guidance to live righteous and happy lives
Right.
on this world.
Right.
And in order to convey this teaching to humans, God sent prophets throughout human history in order to convey his message. And so many of these names of the prophets we're familiar with from their names in the Bible, like Noah, like Abraham, like Moses, like Jesus, peace be upon them all. These are all prophets in Islam as well. The difference is that these prophets were sent to particular times and particular peoples in history, whereas the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the culmination of prophecy, in that he's sent to the whole of mankind until the end of time. And so his message is a message for people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all races, all nationalities. He's a prophet for me, he's a prophet for you.
Why does the wrong message get over and say, "Oh, well, they're only linked to violence"?
I think,
well,
obviously,
Christ to violence.
I mean, part of it is based on some degree of reality, unfortunately, because there has been lots of terrorist attacks by Muslims, and so that's coloured the picture. Another thing is that obviously media sensationalists, they like to focus on wars and violence. It grabs a lot of attention, and a lot of it is deflection, unfortunately, because a lot of the violence and which has occurred because of Western imperialism, Western violence, invasion of Iraq, Afghanistan, the Middle East problems. So this is kind of like
my late father. He's only in mid-40s when he died, regretfully, but he always said to me that it doesn't matter so much whether your race, your kith, but whatever you are in this world, right? You've got a right to be here, right? And the other thing that he taught me, if you like, he said that when you meet people, and my father, he said, when you meet people, right, you don't look on them as strangers. Don't do that. You look on them as a brother or a sister.
For sure. Yeah, we're all brothers and sisters in humanity.
Don't say, "Oh, I don't like." But if you look on that person, effectively, the empathy of the world then comes together. And my father, he would have chatted to you, he'd chat gentlemen there and all the rest of it, because he believed you all have a place in this world, and that's what the world is all about. But as soon as you set up, "Oh, I don't want to talk to him," then the barrier's there, isn't it? Finished.
Yeah.
But I will have a read.
Please, you seem very open-minded and inquisitive. I mean, I think one thing which is unique about Islam is that Islam is a evidence-based religion.
Right. Yeah.
The claims that Muslims make aren't just "I believe it and that's why it's true," but rather we have kind of based on claims of evidence that God exists, that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is actually a genuine messenger. The proof of the messengership of the Prophet Muhammad is the Quran itself. It's considered a miraculous book, which testifies to his genuineness.
My profession is I get involved with what's called neighbour disputes. They might argue with each other over different things. But to be fair with you, I mean, I do a lot of business in the East End. So, I mean, I don't say a lot of, But you know, I meet up with Muslims and so forth, and as
Good.
far as I'm concerned, they're as kind as anybody else.
For sure.
They don't worry me, and they don't, you know,
Yeah,
as
for
far as
sure.
I'm concerned, doesn't matter what your religion is, I will look after you,
Yeah.
and that's it. So yeah, so it's good. Anyway, nice to meet you,
Nice to meet
sir.
you. What's your name, sir?
Okay. Well, Doug. My first name
Doug.
is Doug. Doug.
Nice to meet you, Doug.
That's
My
my
name's
first
Anis.
name.